Hello chess lovers, I have a very interesting game for you played by the White Rook Youth Club against Mikhail Tal. The members of the White Rook Youth Club were the readers of the Pionerskaja P, which was a Soviet youth magazine. The game was played in 1970 and this was a correspondence chess. The members of the White Rook Youth Club started with e4 and e5 by Mikhail Tal, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, white goes for the Italian game, knight f6, we see the two knights defense and knight g5, attacking the pawn on f7. The main move in this position is d5. White is capturing on d5, and then after knight a5 we see bishop b5 check, c6, d takes c6, b takes c6. This is the main line, but after knight g5 Mikhail Tal is choosing this razor sharp Traxler counterattack. He plays bishop c5, allowing white to capture on f7. Knight takes f7, and now the knight is forking the queen and the rook. But here comes another aggressive move by Mikhail Tal. Bishop takes f2 check. White accepted the sacrifice, and now comes knight takes e4 check, both grabbing this pawn and also opening up the queen's diagonal. King g1, and the queen jumps to h4 square, threatening checkmate in 1. g3, but now comes another aggressive move by Mikhail Tal. Knight takes g3. Mikhail Tal, what are you doing against these youngsters? H takes g3, queen takes g3 check, king f1, rook f8, pinning the knight. White played a very aggressive queen h5 move, but actually a better move was playing knight c3. If queen f4 check, then king e1, queen takes c4 with equal chances. But this queen h5 move allows black to gain advantage. Here comes d5, bishop takes d5, and not a good move by Mikhail Tal, knight d4. Actually, knight b4 was stronger, both attacking the pawn on c2 and also the bishop. If bishop b3, for example, trying to protect the pawn, then anyways black can capture on c2. And now you can't move away your bishop from this a2 g8 diagonal, because if bishop takes c2, then already black can capture on f7. Let's go back. But after bishop takes d5, we see knight d4. Here comes queen h2, offering an exchange of queens. But of course Mikhail Tal rejects and plays queen g4, allowing white to capture on e5 as well. Queen takes e5 check. Now looks like Mikhail Tal is in a hopeless position, but he plays bishop e6, allowing white to capture on e6 as well. Bishop takes e6, and now this bishop is no longer covering this diagonal, and Tal plays queen f3 check. King g1, knight d2 check, king h2, queen f2 check, king h3, and Tal played queen f3 check. Well, actually, after this move, white can gain advantage. A better move was capturing on f7. If bishop takes f7, then king takes f7 with equal chances. And at any moment, black queen can give a perpetual check and end up the game in a draw. Let's go back. After king h3, we see queen f3 check, king h4, queen f2 check, and king h5. Well, actually king g4 is better. Now if queen g2 check, then only now white can play king h5. And now capturing on h1 is very dangerous. If queen takes h1 check, then white has a powerful move. Can you find a winning move for white? White can play bishop h3, covering the king and giving a discovered check. If king takes f7, then queen e6 checkmate. But after queen f2 check, we see king h5, rook takes f7, bishop takes f7 check, king takes f7, and rook h2. A better move was playing rook h3, covering the f3 square, but instead we see rook h2. Now comes queen f3 check, king h4, g5 check, queen takes g5, and now this rook is also joining the attack, rook g8. And though white has so many pieces, but because of the fact that those pieces are not developed, white king is in trouble. White played queen h5 check, trying to exchange the queens and simplify the position. Queen takes h5, king takes h5, and knight g3 check. Well, only a few months later, one of the pioneers, Vadim Brodsky, discovered that Tal had missed an easy win. Can you find the checkmating line for black? Ready? But this is of course going to be difficult because Tal had missed this line. Black can play actually knight f4 check. Now if king h4 then h5 is winning, threatening rook g4 checkmate. Or after knight f4 check, if king h6 then rook g6 check, king takes h7, rook g7 check, king h6, and now comes a very strong study-like move. Can you find that move? Ready? Actually, king g8 is very strong, controlling the h7 square and threatening rook g6 checkmate. This is truly spectacular checkmate. If rook g2 then rook takes g2 then rook g6 checkmate. Let's go back. But after king takes h5 we see knight g3 check. King h6. Again this is a blunder. A better move was king h4 which could lead to a draw. But this king h6 move again allows black to checkmate white king, though again Mikhail Tal missed it and played knight f5 check. Only after 30 years Martin de Zeeuw in his Rotterdam Club magazine showed something that had gone undetected for all those years. Actually, this is the second time that Mikhail Tal is missing a checkmating line. He could play rook g6 check. If king takes h7, then knight e4. The threat is knight f6 check followed by rook g8 checkmate. White can prolong his life by giving up the rook, but anyways, this is again winning for black. Let's go back. After king h6, Tal played knight f5 check, king takes h7, rook g7 check, and the players agreed to a draw. Black is giving a perpetual check. Actually, this was a very powerful attacking game by Mikhail Tal, but this was very dubious that in a correspondence chess, Mikhail Tal missed those two checkmating lines. Your comments and questions please. What do you think about this game? Of course, it will be also very interesting to know your opinion about this game. Good luck.